Hi, everybody. This is SAAD. Some of you may know that currently the Women's World Cup of Soccer is taking place, and the United States has quite a formidable team. They recently defeated Thailand 13-0, and Vox came out with an article. Let me just get it for you here. Where is it? This is from June 11th. How the U.S. women's soccer team 13-0 World Cup win against Thailand became about pay equity. And so you could read the article. I'll put a link to it. And Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, who is a 2020 contender on the Democrat side of the aisle, tweeted, "Here's an idea. If you win 13-0, the most goals for a single game in a World Cup history, you should be paid at least equally to the men's team. Congratulations. Hashtag USWNT." Now imagine how faulty your logic must be to actually make such an argument, right? There is a U10 team right now that beat someone 47-0. Or how about the fact that an under 15, I think, Dallas boys team beat the U.S. national team, right? So these are under 15 Dallas academy team from just Dallas, not the U.S. national team, beat the USA women's team. Okay, and there are many other similar cases. So the idea that, they won 13-0, whereas the men, in the last 3 World Cups combined haven't scored 13 goals. Voila, they should be paid as much. So my point is to talk about how faulty people's logic is, people's reasoning is. As someone who has studied psychology of decision making for close to 3 decades, starting in my PhD education and then subsequently as a professor who's done research in decision making, who's lectured courses on psychology of decision making, it just never ceases to amaze me that people can be so emboldened in their stupidity that they think that that's a valid argument. Well, more recently, just I think earlier today, I noticed. When did this come out? When did this tweet come out? On the 23rd of June. So this is from yesterday. So this is the United Nations came out with a tweet, and I'll put the link to it too. One male soccer player makes almost double as much as the combined salaries of all players in the top 7 women's soccer leagues. That one player is Lionel Messi. Well, so what? You really don't need to be an economics expert to understand that what drives these salaries are the most fundamental basic of economic principles. People care greatly to watch Lionel Messi. People don't give a damn about watching women's soccer leagues. The fact that people care about watching Messi more is not because they've been taught by the sexist patriarchy to prefer how Messi plays rather than some girls who plays for the Orlando, never heard of the soccer team before. But it's because people care about certain athletic realities, and it turns out that Messi is better than all of the women who play in the 7 combined league combined. Therefore, people are willing to pay as much as they are so that they can watch him. Advertisers are willing to pay on programs that he appears in. TV rights are willing to shell out billions of dollars for airing when he plays. That's not because of endemic sexism. That's not because of systemic sexism. I tweeted to the United Nations and I said, Lady Gaga makes more per week than I do per year. I've been a professor for 25 years. Why is the music industry being sexist against me and anti-Semitic against me? I mean, how far can the idiocy go? I mean, there is sexism in the world. There is racism in the world. There is injustice in the world. This is not one of those cases. This is just basic economic conditions deciding how much people should be remunerated. Now, we could talk about cosmic injustice. We could talk about should Lionel Messi, in a grand cosmic sense, be making more than all of the researchers who study diabetes combined. Is that fair? Should we live in a society where that's not allowed? Or that's what it is? Market decides. If the market decides that, I've got his stats here, PewDiePie has 96,786,328 subscribers with a total number of views of 21,876,768 views. He's got 28 billion views and 96 million subscribers. He plays video games. If you take every single top intellectual and professor combined, take the top probably 100, they don't have his reach. Is that fair? In a cosmic sense, you might say, what does that say about society, that a guy who's a gamer, who's made more than $100 million just from his ad revenue on YouTube, if my memory is correct, is that fair that he makes more than the top 100 intellectuals in the world? Well, that's the market. There is a bigger market for people watching PewDiePie play idiotic video games than being immersed in my infinite wisdom. Is it unfair? Perhaps, but that's the economic reality. That's not because YouTube is anti-Semitic against Dr. Gad Saad. It's because whatever PewDiePie is putting up, there's a bigger market for it than Gad Saad and Jordan Peterson and Steven Pinker and Richard Dawkins. And if Charles Darwin were alive, and if Isaac Newton were alive, and if all other great scientists who have ever existed were alive, they probably have a lesser reach than Justin Bieber and PewDiePie. That's not because the world is bigoted against scientists. It's because market conditions determine these things. So the fact that women are paid less in soccer has nothing to do with sexism. Look for sexism in the right places. Go to the Middle East and see how women are treated, and then come back to me about sexism. Go to the Middle East and see how gays are treated, and then come back to me about homophobia. Right? So be outraged in the right places. Have a good day, everybody. Cheers.